You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to another juicy episode of Unstoppable Actors. I cannot wait. I'm so excited for today's episode because there's so much in it that is going to get you to believe in yourself and take big, bold action on your acting career. One thing that genuinely upsets me and makes me so sad is that there are so many undiscovered actors out there who are ridiculously talented, but they are simply not putting themselves out there enough to get noticed. And then they get stuck in this loop of thinking, well, I'm not getting noticed, so it must mean I'm not good enough. And it becomes this cycle, this spiral, this belief, this story that they take on, and it's simply not true. Now, if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you will know that there is a triangle for success. And being a triangle, there's 3 points on it. The first point is mindset. It's the most important part of the triangle. The second is skills, which is the craft. And then the third is action. And over the next 3 episodes, including this one, I am going to go through each of those points. Today's point is focusing on mindset. It's something I am so passionate about. It is something that I study a lot. It's something that I share in our classes with our students, and I do practical exercises around this, because if you don't believe in yourself, and I mean you really genuinely do not believe in yourself to your core, not in an arrogant way, in a humble way, then you could be the world's best kept secret. And I can't have that. So my job here on this podcast is to help you make your next performance your best performance yet, but also to give you the tools to get yourself out there and make this happen. Because I know if you're listening to this, you don't want to be doing your 9 to 5 forever. That feels heavy. I know you want to be acting, you want to be paid to act, and it can happen. It doesn't just happen to the lucky few. Luck is something we create ourselves and we are prepared for. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. I am so glad you have stumbled across this episode, however you found us, and I hope it's going to be the first of many that you listen to. If you're a regular listener, as ever, I love having you here. Thank you so much for always tuning in and listening and taking on board the lessons and implementing them. I absolutely love sharing my advice with you. So as we are going through the triangle for success, I'm just going to share very quickly that the second point, which I'll be talking in more depth about in the next episode, is your skills, which is your craft. I just want to share quickly that it is absolutely non-negotiable that you are practicing your craft, you are regularly upgrading your skills, and you are getting feedback on your performances. It's non-negotiable. If you have got integrity, you are going to make sure you are skilled so you can play an array of characters, so you can become a versatile actor, not a one-trick pony. And the way you practice your skills and improve your craft is obviously by going to classes and getting better and learning new skills, but it's also being around people who are better than you. In life, I always like to be around people who are better than me, whether that's at the gym, whether it's in any kind of class or any kind of situation. Because when I am in a situation where other people are better than me, I can learn from them and I can grow. When I was younger, I used to have this limiting mindset that if I wasn't really good and I wasn't one of the best in the room, then I wasn't good enough. And now I'm older, I know that that's not true. That was an insecurity. So, as I've already said, one of the ways to get better with your craft is to get into classes like my audition and character development classes that I hold inside the Method Actor Circle, because that would mean you're always practicing your craft with guidance and getting that feedback that you need and being allowed to muck up and make mistakes and then improve. And the other way to get out there is by taking action. That is the third point on the success triangle. And that is to get yourself to some really good auditions. You've got to take the action to get yourself to auditions, to write to casting directors, to write to agents, to apply on online platforms for castings, and especially writing to casting directors, agents, and applying for roles that stretch you out of your comfort zone a little bit. If you want a really good agent, and if you want much better auditions, you're going to have to get a better agent than you currently have. And this is where some of you get stuck, and this is what loops us back round nicely to mindset. We can have mindset issues around classes and training, around following up casting directors, around getting a better agent, or even your first agent if you don't already have one. So with classes, usually the mindset challenge is, when we see a class like, for example, mine that I hold online, I don't do them in person anymore, many of you will tell yourself a story that, well, I won't get anything from online, can't learn anything, you need to be in a room. When it comes to following up casting directors, you will tell yourself a story that, oh, I'm pestering them, I'm annoying them, I'm bothering them. And when it comes to either leaving your current agent and getting a better agent, or making that first step to get your first agent, you will tell yourself stories like, I am not ready. And absolutely none of these stories are true. And that is all they are. They are a story you are telling yourself. And you're telling yourself this story enough times that now an emotion is getting attached to it. And you are convinced that this is true. You believe it with every cell in your body. And I learned something really, really mind-blowing the other day. And I'm very big into learning about the nervous system and making sure you feel safe doing what you're doing, and learning about energy and mindset and all of that good stuff. But this thing that I learned the other day I'd never ever heard before, and this is why it blew my mind. So when it comes to these things, such as taking a new class, like an online method acting class, or following up a casting director that you wrote to 2 weeks ago that you've heard nothing from, or taking that step to actually reach out to more credible agents, those stories that we've got in our heads going round and round and round like a carousel are stories we tell ourselves because they make us feel safe. So in our body, when we repeat this story, in our mind, when we repeat this story, in our body, we feel safe because we're like, oh, well, this is true. What you're actually scared of is the feeling in your body that comes with taking that action. And that was the thing that blew my mind when I learned it. So if I ask you now, what is the feeling that comes with following up a casting director that you wrote to 2 weeks ago that you haven't heard anything from? If I say to you, right, I want you to now follow them up, what's the feeling that you get in your body? Is it fear? Is it overwhelm? Is it a sense of rejection? What is it? Ask yourself that now. If I ask you to write to a more credible agent and apply to be on their books, when you think about doing that, what's the feeling that you feel in your body? Again, is it fear? Is it a sense of rejection? Is it something completely different? If I ask you to apply for one of my online method acting classes, an audition for it, what is the feeling that comes up in your body? Again, is it fear? Is it scared of being rejected? Is it actually feeling rejected? Is it feeling overwhelmed? Because that can be a feeling for some of us. Is it a feeling of criticism that you are going to be disapproved of by other people? Have a little think about this right now. Allow yourself to feel that. So it's actually the feeling that we're scared of. And I put this to the test and I wrote down loads of things that I've been wanting to do and haven't done. And then I asked myself, well, if I do these things, what's the feeling that I might get in my body if I actually take the action to do these things? And what's the thing that I feel about them right now? And I was like, oh my God, I'm actually avoiding the feeling. And I've never heard this before. And I was like, wow, this is mind-blowing. But you have to challenge yourself. How many times in your life have you felt these feelings? I mean, you probably don't have an answer because you will have felt them countless times, multiple times. And then we have to get our logical brain on board. And we have to go, well, have you survived these feelings? Yes, of course you have, because you are here and you are listening to this. So, for example, this is nothing to do with my acting career. This is to do with a method acting book that I am writing. I started it, I was having the time of my life, and then I got writer's block. And I've wrote a good number of chapters. And I read it back through the other day and I was like, God, this is pretty good actually. I'm not being arrogant, but it is pretty good. But I have put off this book for about 2 years now. I got writer's block 2 years ago and I can't keep lying to myself and saying, oh, well, you've got writer's block, Louise, so you can't continue writing this method acting book, because I know a lot about the craft of acting. I've been coaching actors for 16 years. Now I had to get really, really honest with myself because I am holding myself back. And I said to myself, well, if you're not going to write this book, you are denying people the opportunity to learn from you in a low-cost way. There's people out there who need to read this book, but you're telling yourself you've got writer's block. You're telling yourself you don't know what to write next. So I had to really hold a mirror up to myself. I had to strip my ego away, because we've all got ego. And I had to say, what's really going on? What is the feeling I am trying to avoid? And there was a few things that come up. And the first one was overwhelm. I am avoiding overwhelm, which is pretty ironic because by not writing the book, I actually feel more overwhelmed and more stressed because now I really want to do it. And then I dug deeper and I said, what is the feeling underneath all of this that I am really trying to avoid and not feel in my body? And I will be honest with you, I will be very, very vulnerable here and share this with you. I am avoiding feeling failure because there's a part of my brain that goes, well, what if you write this book and you launch it into the world and nobody buys it? You are going to feel like the biggest failure ever. And I'm avoiding that feeling. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is profound. This is actually profound. And so I had to say to myself, well, how many times have you failed at things? Loads. And I'm still here to tell the story. And I had to think of specific things that I'd failed at. And then I had to say to myself, but actually, in hindsight, I've never seen these as failures. I've seen these as growth spurts. And then I went to the other feeling. I went through all the other feelings as well, but I specifically went to the feeling of overwhelm. And I've got an ADHD brain, so my brain and my body gets overwhelmed very, very, very easily. And I asked myself the same question, how many times have I been overwhelmed? And I was like, well, I can't give you a specific number, Louise, but I know it's been a lot of times. And I could specifically remember things like my revising for my exams at secondary school, or auditioning to get into my professional acting training. There were so many things that came up and I was like, well, you felt overwhelmed and you still did it. And you're here to tell the story. So I had to change the story in my brain about this book to get a better feeling in my body. And the key to all of this is that you have to feel safe in your body before you do something. Now, obviously, writing a book is very different to acting, but it's the same thing, the same principle, in that you're putting yourself out there. So I want you to go through that same process that I've just been through and explained with you, with me writing the method acting book, but obviously bring it back to your acting. Go through that exact same process and ask yourself the same questions. What feelings am I actually avoiding in my body? What's scary about these feelings? Why don't I want to feel them? Then ask yourself, well, how many times have I felt this feeling in my life? And think of specific examples. And then remind yourself, but I've done it and nothing bad happened to me. Because I'm still here, I'm not dead. These feelings didn't kill me. I'm still here. And I got life experience from them, and I learnt something and I grew, even if they were painful at the time. Because here's the thing. If you do not challenge these assumptions, which are the stories in your head, so things like, well, I'm not ready for a better agent, or I'm pestering casting directors by writing to them in the first place, or by following them up if they've not answered my email, because they get thousands of people emailing every week, or, yeah, well, I won't learn anything from an online acting class. If you do not challenge these assumptions, these stories, and you do not challenge these feelings, the fear of these feelings, our body thinks it cannot handle these situations. It does not feel safe, and therefore we stay stuck. We make no progress. We do not move forwards. And that's ultimately the cost of you listening to these stories and avoiding these feelings. And it means that if you don't challenge these assumptions, you will be in exactly the same place come the end of 2026, come August 2027, come August 2028. You just won't get traction. You won't move forward. So you have to challenge them. Every single actor on the planet has had these stories and these feelings in the body. The ones who get to where they want to be, who achieve their goals, and our goals are all individual and all different, so we can't compare ourselves to other actors. But the ones who achieve their goals are the ones who are willing to strip their ego away and have a look at themselves, hold a mirror up to themselves and say, okay, let's challenge what's going on. And take bold, brave action anyway. Because you are not going to die from feeling a feeling. Yes, you might feel overwhelmed. Yes, it might be unpleasant, but you'll get through the other side. Yes, you might feel like a failure. It's going to feel unpleasant, but you'll get through the other side. So I want you to give that a go with whatever assumptions and stories you've got going on in your head that's stopping you from getting to the next level in your acting career. When you've done that, I'd like you to go and download my Method Acting Toolbox, which is completely free of charge, because there is an entire mindset section in there as well. And it is incredible. It will really help you tell better stories to yourself, and it'll help you challenge anything that is holding you back. And you can get that Method Acting Toolbox at tinyurl.com/method toolbox. That's tinyurl.com/method toolbox. I've also left the link underneath where you've hit play as well. If you just want to go and click there, you can download it straight to your phone and get on straight away with these exercises. And there's also method acting exercises in there for you as well. I really hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you a different perspective. And I hope you're going to take action on what I've asked you to do in this episode, because it's no good just listening to it and feeling inspired. Remember, action is the third point on the triangle for success. You have to take action to get to the places you want to go. I'll see you in the next episode. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.